Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Laura, and today I just have some things I need to get done with my seedlings. So I have a bunch of seedlings that need to be separated, so I'll be doing that. And then I also am going to start some poppies from seed today. So come with me and let's do it. So I want to kind of start from scratch here and just show you how I start seeds from like beginning to end. And just be mindful, everyone starts things differently. So there is no 100% right way to do it. This is just the way that I do it. So this bag is from Walmart. It's Jiffy brand. It costs $5. And this is usually what I use to start my seeds. I just like it. I like the way it smells. And I like the way it feels. And I just like this one. So this is the one I like to use. And then I also use their trays as well. And those are $5 also. And I find that one of these bags will usually fill up 2 trays. So you get 2 trays, 1 bag, $15 plus your seeds, and you can start 144 cells. And the first thing I like to do with it is to just cut the top off, and then I just stick it in my sink, and I just run a bunch of water in there, because you want to start usually with moist soil. So I'll run a bunch of water, I'll stop, then I'll mix it up with my hand, check the consistency and see if I need more. And if I do, I'll run more. And this is about the consistency that you want. So you want it to kind of hold together, not fall apart, be moist, but not be dripping wet. And then I just fill my tray. Now I should have probably put something under this so I didn't make a huge mess. But I start in the middle and I work my way out. So I'll just fill this up, and then I'll give it a once over just by gently pushing on each cell. And if it needs more, I'll put more in. And before we move on to the actual planting, let's just take a minute here and talk about cold stratification, because some seeds need to be stratified, some don't. And you can easily just find that information through Google if you're not sure if your seeds need to be stratified or not. And cold stratification is just, it's basically a period of time that you're giving the seed to be cold and preferably moist to encourage germination. So when it comes out of that cold, it's kind of waking up. And there are a couple of ways to do this. Some people choose to do winter sowing, and that is also a good way of giving cold stratification, because with that process, you're putting your seeds outside during the winter, so they're getting that automatically. Another way of doing it is artificially with your fridge and your freezer, and it's just super easy. You just take a paper towel, you dampen it, and then you take your seeds, sprinkle them on the damp paper towel, fold it up, and then I'll put it in a plastic bag with the name of the seed as well as the date. And then I usually will throw that in my freezer, and I try to give them 6 weeks if I can for most of them. And then I will transition them to the fridge as well for usually 2 weeks or so before I start the seeds. And I do find that that will help with germination rates if you're starting seeds that prefer that cold stratification period. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat here, because some of the super tiny seeds are hard to get off of the paper towel once they are done stratifying. This being one of them. Poppies are very tiny, not as small as some of the other ones, but they're still really small. And it's just hard to see and hard to do. So I prefer to stratify my poppies dry and not on the moist paper towel. It just makes them easier to work with. But I did want to give you a quick example of how I would do it if I were using the moist method. So anyway, these poppies have been in the freezer for about 6 weeks, plus another week or 2 in the fridge. So I am ready to sow them now. You want to check your seed packet always for the individual planting instructions. It will tell you, if they need light to germinate, if they need darkness to germinate, and how deep to put your seeds. A good rule of thumb, if you don't know, is usually the smaller the seed, the closer it goes to the surface. So poppies are a surface sow seed, which is also another reason that some people actually instead of even doing the winter sowing or starting from seed indoors, they'll just throw them on the ground outside and they'll germinate in the spring when it's time. So that's another fun way to do it. But back to our tray here. So we're just going to surface sow these, and that just means sprinkling them on top, and we don't have to cover them with any more soil. And I am putting a few per cell here. This package has like almost 200 seeds, I think, so plenty to go around. And then once they're all sown and I have a few seeds per cell, I'm just going to give it a once over with the spray bottle. I talked about this in another one of my videos. This is one of the, you can spray at any angle. Definitely worth investing the $3 in that, because you can spray at any angle. And usually you got to hold this thing sideways when you're working with seedlings. So definitely a high recommendation for the any angle spray bottle. So I'm just going to give these a once over with the spray bottle. I like using the spray bottle for this stage because it's not going to blow the seeds away or wash them away with a heavy stream of water. And then I'm just going to make up a label for this because the whole tray is just one thing. So I'm just going to put the label on the side of the tray. And I am not going to use the heat mat for this one because it's a cooler flower. It likes cooler temperatures to germinate around 65 to 70. So I'm just going to leave this on the rack in the window, and they should germinate within about 2 weeks or so. But I will keep you posted on that, obviously. And now I just need to separate some seedlings. So I have these Snapdragons that I started in these smaller trays. The reason I did that is because the seeds are super duper tiny. Like you can't even really see what the heck is going on. So these are just like sprinkled in here. And obviously we had really good germination, but now there's like a lot per cell. So I'm going to pop these out, separate them, put them into a bigger tray. And for this tray, I filled it just the same as I would if I were starting seeds. Only instead of doing that second round, I pretty much just go over the one time and then I give it a little divot in each one for where I'm going to put my little seedling in. And then I just pop the whole cell out of the green one. And this is where you have to be just very gentle. So I did pre-soak these. I gave them a nice drink of water before I did this. So hopefully they would separate a little bit more easily. And I'm just going to tease this with my fingers until they kind of loosen up and separate on their own. And really you have to just be so gentle. And that's really all there is to it. It can be helpful to use a tool, maybe like a chopstick or a toothpick, that kind of thing, to help tease the roots apart. And then once you have your individual little plant, you're just going to make sure you get the root into that divot and kind of just tamp it in there, settle it in for a nice little nap. And that's it. She's ready to go. And then once they're all in here, I'll give them some water. And I'll do that with my turkey baster because for little seedlings like this, I like to use the turkey baster. It gives you a lot of control over where you're watering, and you can kind of put the water around the little plant so you don't hurt it. And again, I will keep you guys posted on how they are doing. So I'll probably have an update video in just a few days, actually. And that's it for today. This actually took a really long time. Separating seedlings is kind of a tedious process, and it does take a while. But it's worth it because they're going to grow up big and strong, and I'm going to have a million plants. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this one. I have been experimenting with my greenhouse and trying to keep it warm at night, and things are going well. So I'm excited to share that with you soon. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are new, and I will see you guys in a couple days with another video. Bye!